to Shiloh Network News with Dr. Scott Stripling.
This is Scott Stripling with Shiloh Network News. This is day 2 of our excavation here at Tel Shiloh. Behind me we have 9 archaeological squares that are being excavated. Yesterday was primarily cleanup and preparation, and today we're in clean archaeological contexts. Probably 1,500 pieces of pottery will be excavated today. We already have about 40 objects that have come out, everything from coins to a possible horned altar, different interesting bones that we're going to want to study with our zoo archaeologist. We've been doing Munsell soil samples. We're flying our drone this afternoon so we can get an overview of the site and then track daily what our progress is. As we're working, we have groups that pass by throughout the day from really all around the world to talk with us in multiple languages. It's a great amount of interest in what's going on in the excavation here at Tel Shiloh. Just behind me is the ancient glacis, and the team behind us is actually on top of the ancient fortification wall. As they come down upon that, we expect to find structures from earlier time periods actually all intermixed with the later time periods. Probably there will be storage rooms just on the other side of that. So these are the interesting things and that we hope to deal with and questions that we hope to answer in the days ahead. This is Scott Stripling from Ancient Shiloh.
It all starts right here. Is the Bible a reliable historical text? In the 1950s, and when Kenyon told the world that the Bible couldn't be trusted, boy, the media loved that. It was on papers, magazines, textbooks. We've had 2 generations of Christian leaders that were trained with the idea that you couldn't trust the Bible. If you lose Jericho and you lose you don't have a conquest. And if you don't have a conquest, you don't have a historical Old Testament. And if not, then we're not different from anybody else. We've just conceived all of this, and this is our mythology that helps us cope with the troubles of life in hopes of an afterlife. So, is Jericho historical? If it's not, then it's a slippery slope. You're pulling out the first peg. But the evidence is what the evidence is. The only thing that has argued historically to help Kenyon's viewpoint is the carbon dating that was done here in City Ford. The carbon dating came in around 1550, 1560 BC. We use carbon dating extensively. We have found it to be very reliable until about the year 1400. And around the year 1400, there is documented a major offset in the carbon dating. So you've got major secular archaeologists who are out there screaming and waving their hands. We got a problem about 1400 BC. The carbon dates are no longer matching all the other metrics because we want 3 metrics when we're dating something. I want something glyptic, I want ceramic, and then I want carbon or something other scientific that I can use to pinpoint and triangulate that date. Well, around 1400 BC, you get an offset of 100 to 150 years. Something happened climatologically around that time. Now, guess when the date of the Exodus and the Conquest are? The biblical date of the Exodus is 1446. 40 years of wandering in the wilderness brings you to Jericho in what year? 1406. What year do we have the carbon offset beginning?
1406.
The time we need it the most is when scientifically there is a discrepancy. And that is a fact. That's not some evangelical giving you that. That is a scientific fact that is a big deal in the scientific community right now. How do you account for this strain? It matches the metrics up to 1400, then it offsets from there. That's the only thing that has historically helped Kenyon's argument, but now, with what we know about the carbon offset, I think that, pulls the final plug out. Now, of course, Jesus said, even if one would rise from the dead, they would not believe. And so some people are not going to be concerned about this, but there are others who are fair-minded. And so for those who are watching out there in TV land right now and those in the media behind us and everybody else, listen, there's about 1/3 of people who have a proclivity toward faith. They are inclined to believe. There's about 1/3 who have a proclivity toward unbelief and skepticism, and there's about 1/3 in the middle. Our goal is that we impact those who are in the middle. The work of the Associates for Biblical Research centers in at the Conquest sites, Jericho, and Shiloh. These are the areas that we're most interested in because we can't lose those sites. And we've devoted all of our time and our work to it. schools like the Bible Seminary, Lee University, Pikeville University, University of Northwestern, Yale, others that are part of our consortium help us in that work. And so it's a very exciting part. I hope you feel the thrill of what you're a part of.
Left, left, right, left, 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 right, left.
This massive wall right here had a mud brick superstructure on it that went all the way up to where those wires are.
Wow.
All the way around the side, about 8.5 to 9 acres inside the walled city of Jericho. So the Israelites are marching right where we are. Now under their feet, these are ruins from even the early Bronze Age, like the time of Abraham and even earlier than Abraham. They don't even know that it's there. These are just ancient ruins that are under their feet at the time. They're marching around these walls right where we are. That mud brick superstructure collapsed out here where we're standing, and the brick, you can still see some of the mud brick here that was part of that structure. It collapses out and it forms a ramp right here, forms a ramp up into the city. And so the Bible says the Israelites went up into the city.